Thank you, Presiding Officer. I am grateful for the opportunity to speak in this debate. Debating poverty, debating inequality is one of our fundamental duties in this place. It is a debate which taxes us intellectually because of how challenging an area is, but it's also a debate which taxes us emotionally because each and every one of us in our role representing our constituencies and regions will have come face to face with people who have been at the sharp end of Tory austerity and have had their lives, in some cases, utterly destroyed and shaken as a consequence of their engagement with the welfare system. Now, I want to recognise the motion that Labour have brought forward. Unfortunately, I can't support it because of one line in it, essentially, which states that the Scottish Government have failed to use the devolved powers adequately. Now, I'm happy to always argue for more powers to be used, for more powers to come to this Parliament, and for new and innovative ways of using these powers. But this Parliament and this Government has delivered in a lot of areas, be it on the 2030 targets on child poverty, full mitigation of the bedroom tax, launching the carers supplement, extending access to free sanitary products, the Homeless and Rough Sleepers Action Group, commitments to implement and recognise all the recommendations, increasing the Fair Food Fund, setting up Social Security Scotland, using the income tax powers progressively to offset cuts from the UK Government, the Pupil Equity Fund, £750 million committed towards closing the attainment gap, increasing provision of free childcare up to 30 hours by the end of this Parliament, a commitment to the real living wage for all Scottish Government employees since 2011, the new Best Start grant coming on imminently, and the baby box as well. These are a range of other areas, and where we don't have the powers over employment law, we are taking strong steps, such as with the Scottish Business Pledge and also Carer Positive, a great scheme that I would encourage all MSPs to sign up to and to become carer positive employers, and to send a message out. Let me just finish this one point, and to send a message out to all of those businesses and employers in your own constituency and region that they too can become carer positive employers. I'll give way to the member.
Elaine Smith.
I thank the member for giving way, and of course much of that has to be applauded and supported, but also over that time the SNP has passed on Tory austerity to councils, with the cuts of £1.5 billion stripped out of the budget since 2011.
Mr Arthur.
I thank the member for intervention. This actually comes to a real fundamental point and crux in this debate, because fundamentally it comes down to two views of what this Parliament is for. There's a view of the Labour Party which is it's a buffer. Alex Cole-Hamilton spoke about this Parliament having to mop up the consequences of Tory welfare reforms. Now, that's a view and a philosophy that the Labour Party are entitled to. But it's not the view I have, because I don't want to have to be the Parliament that mitigates. I want to be the Parliament where all of the powers are in this Parliament, powers over employment law, so we can make sure there is a real living wage and under 25s aren't being paid the poverty national minimum wage. I want to have the full range of powers so we can truly transform Scotland. And I want the full powers so we don't live in a country where colleagues of Michelle Ballantyne get to dictate social security policy in this country. Because I have to say, in my 2.5 years in this Parliament, the contribution from Michelle Ballantyne was one of the most disgraceful speeches I have ever heard. 6 minutes of pompous Victorian moralising that would have been better suited to the pages of a Dickens novel. And to suggest that poverty should be a barrier to a family, that people who are poor are not entitled to any more than 2 children, what an absolutely disgraceful position. And she should be utterly, utterly ashamed of herself.
Thank you.